Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new edition of SIN Sunday Sideline Report. I am Mike Rifkin, joined by Mark Halper and Lawrence Lang, Noah Tremblay. Gentlemen, welcome to another Sunday of football. How we doing?
Happy to be at Sunday. I look every day of the week just to get here during football season.
Can someone please tell me how we're already at week 6 already?
That's just been an absolute surprise on how fast the first third of football went.
Oh my God, yeah. It's
That's
just like,
beautiful.
how are we already at week 6?
We've had surprises, we've had losses, we've had upsets.
We've been rushing around with Cooper.
We've been rushing with Cooper.
It's just beautiful. But we're here for a fun day, so let's get started.
Yes. All right.
We will start with the fun because the fun of week 6 is already started with arguably the most epic game of the year. That was Thursday Night Football. That saw the Washington Commanders beat the Chicago Bears by a score of 12-7. What a game.
I honestly, I don't know which is worse. Was this game worse or was the Colts-Broncos game worse? I can't tell.
I think the Colts-Broncos game was a little bit better just because of the players playing in it.
Yeah. This was
Something.
When Carson Wentz throws for less than 100 yards and wins, that should tell you all you need to know.
Well, we did say the Commanders were going to win at least 3 games. Most of us all said that. So they've won 2. They only get one more win throughout the rest of the season. Then it's all losses.
I will say I want to give a nice shout out to Brian Robinson Jr. for the comeback that he's had. Obviously, before training, was it right before training camp started? I believe he was shot multiple times in a robbery attempt.
Yes.
And now he's back on the field playing. That's such a great story. That's like the only real reason to watch the Commanders is to watch him play because that's such an incredible story.
Yeah, he had a great day. He had 17 for 60 and a touchdown. I know that's not to all our fans blockbuster numbers, but for a rookie, that's kind of like the pinnacle you can ask for.
On a really bad team.
Yes, that too.
Me and Dan were talking about this on Friday when we recorded the bottom half of the ending for SIP. We both concluded that let's get rid of Thursday Night Football and just do East Coast, West Coast, Monday Night Football. You have one East Coast game, one West Coast game, and be done with it.
Oh, so Monday night doubleheader every week.
Monday night doubleheader every week.
I said the same thing.
Nobody has nobody has a short turnaround, and we don't have us suffering through Thursday Night Football anymore.
Okay, that's a decent proposal.
Or here's the real idea: if you're going to keep Thursday Night Football, don't make it so every team has to be in prime time because nobody wants to watch the Commanders and the Bears.
No one wants to watch the Broncos on Monday Night Football again.
The Broncos are going to keep getting primetime games, man.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I understand the rule.
Recreational marijuana is legal in Colorado.
I understand the gimmick the NFL puts together that everyone should get a primetime game. No. Primetime games have to be earned. Okay? If your team's like Baltimore, your team's like San Francisco, teams like Cincinnati and the Rams, they should be guaranteed primetime games, and then you go to the next set of teams who made the playoff and so forth.
I mean,
if there's a spot at the end, give one random team a primetime spot.
I mean, if you really think about it, look at Buffalo for years. They were never in prime time, and all of a sudden, the resurgence of Josh Allen comes along, And now Buffalo, we're seeing them on Monday night. We're seeing them on Sunday night. We get to see them on Thursday night occasionally. It's like you work hard to get those primetime slots.
Exactly. They're going to bring Charles Woodson back from retirement. He's going to unretire. And then on the other side, Deion Sanders is going to leave being a coach, and he's going to join the no-fly zone too.
Well, listen, Deion Sanders might be the next coach of the Houston Texans for all we know.
Well, that's not the only time I've heard that rumor. I've heard it from a couple of people.
All right. But back to the game at hand. Here's the thing. I know Washington is 2-4, and Noah can attest that I am the driver of the Carson Wentz bandwagon. It might be time, Ron Rivera, to put in Sam Howell and see what you got.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this is all on Carson Wentz, because I don't think it is. I think part of it is also the organization, which, by the way, we'll talk about that in a minute too.
Oh, God.
Because what a dumpster fire that is.
I never knew the true story about it until I asked someone the other day, and I was like, wait, excuse me?
Yeah, reading a lot of the articles and everything, it's really disgusting.
Yeah, it's worse. But for me, I love Carson Wentz, but he was never going to turn this team around. They're just not good enough.
No,
and I'm tired of Ron Rivera standing at at his podium last week calling out Carson Wentz, and then after this game on Thursday night, defends him, being like, no, I never said what I said, even though I totally said it and it's on tape. When he's asked what's the difference between him and every other NFC's team, he goes, quarterback.
What spot was Howell drafted?
He was a fourth or fifth round.
I believe fifth.
He was a fifth-round draft pick. And
Give him the ball. Give him the ball.
Out of North Carolina.
Let's see what he can do.
You already know what you have in Heineke, so.
Yeah.
Well, he's the one who's going to start, yeah. And trust me, I'd rather have him than Wentz anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side, you got the Bears.
Who they seriously might be the worst team in the NFL. Somehow they're 2-4, but they might be the worst team in the NFL. Just let me read you this.
Think about their 2 wins, though, Noah. San Francisco in that crappy weather game, Trey Lance's first start, and a game Houston literally handed to them on a silver platter.
Yeah. I just want to read these stats really quick. The total yards of each team. Washington had 214, and the Bears had 392. Passing yards, Washington 86, Chicago 154. And then rush yards, Washington 128, Chicago 238.
How are you not winning that game?
How are you losing with those stats?
How much did Justin Fields have on the ground?
Justin Fields had 12 carries for 88 yards.
I mean, you have a player who is Lamar Jackson-esque. Use that ability.
Justin Fields might need to change his scenery sooner rather than later, because this is not good.
This is not what the Washington Redskins football team or Commanders thought they were doing when they got Carson Wentz back. Even we all thought it was a joke.
And it still is.
The Bears ran for 238 yards and lost the game.
Which
is admirable when you look at what they have to run. I mean, look at the Thunder and Lightning teams across the NFL. Besides Dallas with Pollard and Zeke, and besides Chicago, what other teams and Cleveland, let's not forget Cleveland, have a dual running back situation like these 3 teams?
Green Bay has Dillon and Jones.
Okay.
New England's got Damian Harris or Ramondre Stevenson.
Okay.
Lions have Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift.
Okay. So there are 6 good teams out there that we named right off the bat. Why isn't every team thinking this way?
Who knows?
Pretty much the answer I gave myself.
It's just amazing how when you look at these stats, it's like, how did the Bears lose this game? For third down efficiency, the Bears went 5 for 13. Okay, not great, but the Commanders went 2 for 11. How did you lose this game? It's just incredible. It's honestly
they
astounding.
averaged almost 6 yards a play. The Bears.
Yeah. Commanders 4.
And remember, they traded up to get Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Yep, they traded up with the New York Football Giants
to get Justin Fields.
Yeah,
Justin Fields.
And poor Justin Fields, they don't trust him to throw the ball at all. And
that poor guy got beat up on Thursday.
Yeah.
But by the way, NFL, we should talk about the concussions also, because you want us to worry about concussions when Justin Fields is lying on the ground. We're not going to do anything about that one. But Teddy Bridgewater, we're going to pump the brakes on that. Okay.
And Pat Freiermuth also was out for the week with a concussion from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, but he could use a week off because Tampa's going to destroy the Steelers today. Yeah. So, all right. So that was Thursday Night Football in all its glory. But that wasn't even the biggest
real quick
news that go.
Real quick, Mike. Did anyone catch the commentary between Herb Street and Michaels at the end of the game?
No.
Where they're previewing next week where they have Saints Cardinals, and Herb Street just goes, "Don't worry, next week I believe we'll have more points next week." Basically begging people to watch Thursday Night Football.
I mean, you would hope there'll be more points next week, but Thursday night was not. This was not even the biggest part of the day of the Commanders on Thursday, because ESPN dropped a bombshell article on one Daniel Snyder. And I'm not going to go over the whole thing because it's just too long to go over. But here's the big plot so that we could talk about it. The fact that he is trying to, or the claim that he has dirt on every other owner or some of the owners, and the NFL is run like a mafia. Those were two words. Two things I can't get those out of my head.
The fact that he hired PIs to go dig up dirt on other owners is just unreal. And yeah, apparently well, and then the other claim of that, Mike, is that apparently if they try to out him as owner, he, quote, will take everybody down with him, or he'll take the whole league down with him.
The question becomes, does he actually have this quote unquote dirt? Okay. I've seen this done as a scare tactic, so to speak, before it goes to a judge saying, hey, look, do we really want to push him on this if he actually had stuff? We don't know what he has. As far as we know, he can have a video of Jerry Jones going in and getting a coffee and coming out with a single lady and offering her a ride. I mean, it could all be that simple.
Yeah, I don't know what you do if you're the NFL now, because apparently he's got dirt on Roger Goodell, which we knew. Like, here's the thing. We know that some of these NFL owners and Goodell are not the cleanest people in the world.
Right.
We know that. But it's how much does he have? How deep does the rabbit hole go? Because God, I hate that if it's deep enough that, oh yeah, we're just gonna have to let him keep his job because we can't risk this. Because we would have 18 owners like out of the league and Goodell would be fired, and the NFL would be in chaos.
Right.
Well, embrace it. Roger Goodell should try to see if he's bluffing or not. And then we go from there.
Agreed.
Because if I'm going down, you're all going down with me. I don't care in reality, here are the owners who Dan Snyder might have something. Jerry Jones,
Wouldn't be
maybe
surprised.
John Mara.
Robert Kraft.
Robert Kraft is a different story. He just
Robert
married
Kraft
a 47-year-old woman at 81, which is
he had a selfie stick in the room.
But
Robert Kraft.
Who else does Dan Snyder have stuff on? Let's go. Let's see it. Stephen Ross. I hope so.
Yeah, well, basically call his bluff.
Yeah, the only owner I would know he has nothing on are the Packers owners because that's owned by the fans.
Right.
He's got dirt on some random guy in Green Bay.
Or
he's a majority owner.
or he had some stuff about a one-eyed pirate in New York.
I don't own stakes in the Packers.
Poor Captain Hook. So go read the article at ESPN.com, but it's jaw dropping what they found out here on Roger Goodell, Dan Snyder rather. All right, on to a thing that drove me nuts last week: roughing the passer.
Oh God. We talked about this on Wishbone, and it made me.
We talked about this on Wishbone, but I wanted to bring it up here too because, and I believe Adam Schefter had this morning that the Rams are petitioning the competition committee to allow roughing the passer to be reviewable.
See, that has to be done.
See, here's the thing. We talked about this on Wishbone Shotgun, and I agree with Adam on this. He brought this up. What you need to have is you can't have the ref do his own review. What you need is one of these guys like Pereira or Dean Blandino to be watching every game. And then basically if you review a penalty, it goes to them. So it's a third party getting involved saying, okay, this was the right call. This was a terrible call. Change it or keep it. Because what ref is going to go review the play and then just contradict himself? It's going to make him look like an idiot.
Pereira is currently the head of officials. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. So having him as the final say, I like it. I think it's a good idea. I mean, I guess it would be hard to have him watching every game. So you get two guys. You get Pereira and one other, and you split. One guy watches the NFC one week, vice versa, and flip it around.
Or Mark, do what baseball's done. You give the two umpiring crews who are in MLB headquarters who look at the reviews. Do the same thing with officials, whether it's former officials.
That's fine also.
Current officials, give them, just have them do it.
But that was an atrocity of a penalty.
Both of them. The one on Derek Carr was brutal.
Yes.
The one on Tom Brady. Yeah.
Honestly,
I can't go into
I will go out and say it. That was the worst penalty call in NFL history. That was ridiculous.
The ball had just left, so he didn't violate anything that way. And he could have really slammed him if he wanted to. No, he tossed him to the ground. Come on.
Yeah. Mark, there was a terrible one in Dallas and LA where I don't know who it was, but they hit Stafford right in the shoulder. If Stafford falls down, they call roughing the passer. It's like, what are they supposed to do?
It was on Terrence Armstrong.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's get this straight with quarterbacks. You can't hit them high. You can't hit them low. You can't land on them, and you can't turn over and look like you're throwing them to the ground. Okay. So basically, you're supposed to just grab them by the waist and then just lightly put them on the ground.
No. You missed one. You missed a good one. Defensive players get to kick the quarterbacks in the balls, and then they get to drop, and then they can just gently push them over.
Apparently. I mean, it's just like Mike, I told you this on Wishbone Shotgun. We're getting closer to what you've always said. Just put flags on the quarterbacks and that's it. Done.
I'm already there.
All right. When you say put flags on the quarterback, what are you talking about?
Like flag
football. Flag.
Okay.
So basically, quarterbacks are never getting hit again. You just sack them by ripping the flag off, and then they're sacked. Then
I
okay,
can't
don't
even
touch
say
them.
two-hand touch because if it's someone like Lamar, they're just going to be too quick. You won't know if you get them with the two hands or not.
Right.
So the flags.
So that's an interesting idea. It would definitely protect quarterback health.
But it would ruin the game.
It would ruin the game all out.
You think
you're already ruining the game?
Yeah.
Or put them in one of those big clear bubbles. And it has to be
How does the ball get out of the bubble?
No. It has to be a running play. Has to be a running play, no matter what. And the object is to pop the bubble before it gets to the end zone. Or if you get knocked out of bounds, the play's over.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to imagine the popping of the bubble on the field.
Well, with the spikes they have, it's very possible. Be funny.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But I'm just done. I'm done. You can't. It's on. You can barely play defense in this league as it is. The corners can't touch the receivers. Every tackle or incomplete pass is either pass interference, holding, illegal contact, or the defenseless receiver call. Now you can't touch the quarterback.
Don't
even put the defense on the field at this point.
That's basically what it is. We know the CBA is coming up this year, and we do know that this is going to be a focal point. So
we'll see what happens. It has to be. It has to be a focal point because, again, like you said, Mike, you can't play defense anymore. You can't touch receivers. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't touch the quarterback. You can't throw him to the ground. You can't. And I understand the reaction because they're reacting to what happened to Tua. Was he got thrown to the ground after a guy kind of rolled over him and he got the massive concussion. And it's like, well, that's terrible. You can't look at Tom Brady's play versus Tua's play and say they're the same thing. You can't. Right. They aren't the same thing. And to say that they are is ridiculous.
And let's be totally fair. As someone who played Tom Brady twice a year for a long time, you couldn't touch Tom Brady to begin with. Like you poked Tom Brady.
Honestly, though, that's kind of what I chalk it up to because Tom Brady has gotten the best roughing the passer calls in history. He has gotten some of the weakest things in history, and it's just how it works.
By the way, I loved his post-game quote. I don't throw the flags, I throw tablets. That's not any better.
No, Tom. Brady, you do throw flags because I want to know how much you paid that damn ref.
Poor refs. They stink.
Yeah, they do.
Sorry about that. Had to change the jersey.
Tricks are for kids.
All refs right now suck.
Yeah, they do. They can never make anyone happy. All right.
Nope.
All right. I'm calling the showdown Sunday because we have a lot of really fun games.
Not only fun, crucial games.
The most crucial of them all takes place at MetLife Stadium, though, where the Ravens go to play the Giants.
The score is going to be 56-0. Not their Giants.
Wow,
Mark, you're going to hate me. I picked the Giants to win. I buy them.
I've watched them through the first 4 or 5 weeks. They've done some good things. I'm not going to say they haven't. They're running the offense fine. But who have they really played besides Dallas?
The Packers.
Packers
suck.
Yeah, they do.
Sorry.
You suck.
No, sorry, Patsy. The Packers suck. Okay, they can't stop anybody, and that's including the Giants. That's enough. Sorry, Pat.
But, you're not wrong.
But it's still a win. They beat
Yes, a win is a win.
Titans on the road. But it's not like they go. They're the one team they beaten that's not good. Really, is the Bears.
Bears put
Tennessee
up a couple
was
of
the number
songs.
one seed in the AFC last year. They just beat Green Bay in London, which is a miracle within itself that it was the first game ever with 2 winning teams in London, and they won 2 other games.
Here's what here's what the Commanders have done. They beat the Jaguars 28-22. They beat the Lions 36-27. They beat. Here's the big
Giants to the Commanders.
This is the Commanders. This was an impressive win when they beat the Eagles. They beat the Eagles. That was a good win. They got obliterated by Dallas. They got beaten by the Titans and barely beat the Bears.
Wait, I'm lost on
Go ahead.
because we were on the Giants.
No, we were talking about the Commanders.
No, we were on the Giants.
Talking about the Giants.
We were talking about Ravens Giants.
Well, I'm still drunk from last night, so that's okay.
You're fine.
But I get what what Mark's saying.
I'm making sure I wasn't the only one.
I was a little confused too. I was like, wait. Where are we?
Hang on a minute.
Old Ops guy is preparing for surgery, and Old Ops guy is on a few meds that might deter him off. So I apologize.
But here's the reason why I really think that the Giants are going to give the Ravens some problems. Number one, Saquon Barkley is back. The guy looks like he's the guy looks like the rookie they drafted out of Penn State in his rookie year. He looks like that dude again. Daniel Jones is playing much better under Brian Daboll, and that's honestly the biggest reason. Brian Daboll has I understand that it is through 5 weeks, and they're 4-1. This team is playing with so much more heart, so much more drive than they were at any point in the last 3 years. Daniel Jones looks like a completely different quarterback. Saquon Barkley's finally healthy. The defense is decent. The receivers are actually making plays. With the Ravens, they honestly been like the opposite. They're winning in spite of themselves. You know, you have the terrible calling against the Bills a couple weeks ago that cost them the game. Then you almost give away the game to Cincinnati. They seriously should have given that game away with the way they were playing. The Ravens have been one of those teams, and I get they are hurt again. They're the most hurt team in the NFL. Again, second year in a row. They've had it again. But when you are winning games and you're almost giving them away, or in some cases giving them away, it's going to become a mentality that they're not going to be able to break. Anytime they're up, they're going to be like, how are we going to give this one away? How are we going to lose this one? And the team
say this though about the Ravens. For the first time in a long time, their corners should match up really well against the Giants because the Giants don't have the game breakers on the outside.
It's not the fact that they don't have the game breakers, Mike. That line isn't going to give Daniel Jones or whoever gets to start any time to throw the ball. The Baltimore line is that good.
That's the other thing that I'm curious about, but flip it around. It's Dale against the Raven offense that he knows so well. That I think it's an interesting matchup and how they roll about this thing. All right. So that's at MetLife. We got the Bengals and the Saints at the Superdome. That's an Andy Dalton revenge game. Jameis Winston will be the backup according to Ian Rappaport. Okay. I'm not even going to go deep into that because the other two games I wrote down are that much more important. Look, you know what? I feel this is weird because I feel like they should kind of be reversed in the order they're played. No offense to Philly, Dallas, but KC Buffalo should be the Sunday night game.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. The Dallas-Philadelphia game is more exciting because of the records, not the actual teams. Let's put it really what it is.
That's a night game every year, Dallas, Philly, whether it's Sunday night or Monday night. It's always there. Kind of like Dallas and the Giants. It's always a prime time.
It's always in a prime time slot. But yeah, and I mean, obviously the records of Dallas and Philly make it, a much more interesting game. But yeah, Bills Chiefs. This is going to be this. I mean, Mahomes Allen is the new Brady Manning. It is. It's that matchup where it doesn't matter what the teams are. It doesn't matter what the stakes are. KC could be 11-2, and Buffalo could be 5-6, and this game will still be like, circle your calendars. It's going to be good.
Normally, any divisional game, not conference, but any divisional game within your own division are always played harder.
Mm-hmm.
No matter where you're looking at.
I mean, and let's face it, Mike. We talked about this on Wishbone. No matter what order you do these two in, this is what a great 1-2 punch for the NFL.
Yeah, this is actually making up for what Thursday night was.
It is.
Now I put this out on the website www.thesportsinsanitynetwork.com. I must-win game for two teams. I feel this is a must-win game for the Bills, and I feel this is a must-win game for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'll start with the Eagles, and then we could go into the Bills. But I think this is a must-win. The Cowboys destroyed the Eagles in both meetings last year.
Correct.
And the Eagles to finally plant their flag and say, we're here, and we're here to stay, you've got to beat the Cowboys. And this is the game because there is no Dak Prescott. There, is no Tyron Smith. If Jalen Hurts and the Eagles want to solidify themselves in the NFC, this is a game they have to win. I don't care how ugly it is. They win 17-14. They win 38-10. I don't care. The Philadelphia Eagles just need to win this game to prove they belong in that same echelon as some of the better teams in the NFC.
Yeah, I'll totally agree with that, Mike, because here's another thing. If the Cowboys win this game, which hopefully they do, but if they do, you're talking about they have so far swept the division yet again. And no one's going to trust anybody in the NFC East against the Cowboys. Like you said, if the Eagles come out after starting 5-0 and looking like the best team in the NFL right now, defense is playing really good, offense is lighting it up with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders and Dallas Goedert and all that. If you come out and you fall flat against the Cowboys, all of those games become questions now because now you know what everyone's going to start doing. Oh, well, look at who they played. They beat the Commanders. They beat the Vikings in prime time, which we know Kirk Cousins can't do. They beat the Jags. They beat who else did they beat? They beat the Cardinals, who are struggling. Every one of those games is going to come.
And I'll never believe in the Cardinals.
Right. Every one of those games is going to become that type of thing where everyone's going to second guess it because it wasn't against a good team. This is their first true test of the year against the Cowboys. And especially that defense of Micah and DeMarcus Lawrence and Dorrance Armstrong and Trayvon Diggs. And they're going to have to play hard to beat the Cowboys.
I reciprocate that with Noah. And since Noah covered the Cowboys Philadelphia, I'm going to go to somebody else. A team that is really, I think, needs a win to keep on going. I mean, they've done very well so far, 3-2, but I think Miami needs this win today to not only keep pace, but to solidify their dominance in the AFCs. I like Miami, but we're not going to be seeing Tua. Mike, say the last name, please.
Tagovailoa. It's Skylar Thompson who's going to play Teddy Bridgewater's
Thank you.
the backup.
I can't say Tua's last name, and I'd rather it be pronounced right. Skylar will be behind the 8 ball, so to speak. Mike, you are the resident Dolphins fan. What are you expecting out of Skylar today?
Hopefully just better than what he was last week. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to expect out of it. A 7th-round pick. I have no idea what to expect. But
all right, let me rephrase it.
I gotta hope the leash is. Huh?
I said, let me rephrase it. What do you expect out of him? What do you think
Short,
he do to win
short,
the game?
easy throws, and they'll utilize the speed of Hill and Waddle. But I expect a heavy dosage of Raheem Mostert. All right. So we have Eagles Cowboys. That's a Sunday night game where Chris Collinsworth will tell you he loves everyone. But then there's the main event at 4:25. We got Bills Chiefs. We have, and no, we were together during that great AFC divisional playoff game where with 13 seconds left, the Chiefs tied it to win it in overtime.
And I remember
my biggest regret in life, though, was that Moser was not at his apartment to watch it with us.
And here's the amazing thing, Mike. I'm pretty sure, little fun story here. When the Chiefs were doing the 13-second drive, I'm pretty sure you went to the bathroom, and I was there. I was just watching it alone.
Could have. That's probably true.
You, like everyone else, thought, "Oh, this is over," because 13 seconds.
And when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah, that's you right. Went, and then all of a sudden, I'm like screaming, like, "No way!" Like, I'll never forget that very first play when they left Tyreek Hill wide open in the middle. Mahomes just gets it right to him, and they get like 25 yards on the first play. And in my head, all I could think was, "Oh my God, they're gonna do it! Oh my God, he's gonna do it!" And then, sure enough, there's Kelsey over the middle. 1 second left, and I'm like, Mahomes is the greatest ever. He just made it. He just did it.
Mahomes is the next Brady. I mean, I think he's going to surpass Brady. Brady has 8 rings, I believe it is in total, or 7.
If anyone could do it, it's Mahomes.
Right. I think Mahomes is the heir apparent to Brady, and we'll see what he can do over his NFL time.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that was just incredible. But back to the game on hand, Mike. You call this, Mike, interesting. You call this a must-win for the Bills. Mm-hmm. I call this a must-win for the Chiefs. I understand they destroyed the Bucks or the Raiders They got the Raiders last week, and they destroyed the Bucks the week before. But the Bills are your biggest contender. And people have been doubting you since you lost Hill and all this stuff. If you come out and you stomp the Bills, everyone's just going to have to shut up and be like, "Oh, okay, Chiefs are still here. Chiefs are still a great team. We can't doubt them anymore."
I think it's a must-win game for the Bills for this reason. For a few reasons, actually. One, Josh Allen's 1-3 against Mahomes, and I hate the fact that I just said that because I hate pitting the two quarterbacks against each other, but that's what it's become, the NFL. 2, the Bills, I think the Bills need home field advantage throughout the playoffs more so than the Chiefs.
I would agree with that.
Can you imagine? I think that is what killed them, not only last year, but when they played in the AFC title game a couple of years ago also. So I think if the Bills can win this game and they're in the driver's seat in the AFC, nobody's going to want to go to Buffalo in January.
Yeah.
I mean, most people don't want to go to Buffalo anyway.
You know, this is where Noah is right. Look, I love my Cowboys. I love watching the Eagles matchup, but this is the game that needs to be the primetime game tonight. As not only we're in the 5th week. It's not lose and go home for the rest of the season. They can both afford to lose the game. Of course, they want to win it, but both teams are that good and I don't know if KC's going to win tonight. I'm going this afternoon. I got Buffalo.
Also, if you look at standings, if Buffalo loses and then Jets and Miami both win, they're tied for the division at 4-2. And then if KC loses, San Diego Chargers win, they're tied to Division 2 early in the season. Granted, it's early in the season,
Chargers
but
they're going to win. They're playing Denver, and Denver can't win anything. That's
Denver couldn't hit air in Mile High Stadium if they fell down.
Yeah.
Denver can't even smoke weed in Colorado. That's
God, Patchy, I can't believe what you just said might happen is that if the Bills lose and the Jets win, they're going to be tied for the division lead. The Jets.
Who would have thought the Jets?
Robert Saleh keeps receipts.
I'm doing this for Dan. That was for Dan.
Don't lie. That was for fireman, Ed.
Oh, look. That is one of the great. I always watch the beginning of a Jets game just to hear that. I love it. I love hearing how one guy unites the stadium.
But back to Bills Chiefs just for a few minutes here.
Sorry.
Because one of the things, and I have to say this because it has pissed me off all season, because the Raiders gave up 4 touchdowns to Travis Kelce on Monday night. When the Chiefs traded away Tyreek Hill, guys, you have one guy to take away, and it's Travis Kelce. You can let Juju and the power of his TikToks beat you. You can let Marquez Valdez-Scantling beat you. How do you let Travis Kelce still beat you? It boggles my freaking mind.
Here's Travis Kelce's stat line.
I was just going into that. Go ahead, Noah.
7 catches for 25 yards, but 4 touchdowns.
It's like he wasn't even utilized except for down in lower red zone.
Which is, by the way, the place you should take away from him the most.
In the first place.
Yeah. Josh McDaniels, every NFL team. This guy right here. Him.
He's good.
Him.
He's good at good at the football, like Connor McDavid's good at the hockey.
Look at what Lawrence Lang's favorite receiver did. 3 for 124 and 2 touchdowns. The thing isn't the yards that gets me. The 2 touchdowns don't surprise me. But only 3 reception and only 7 targets. You're paying this guy more money than whatever. He deserves more than 7 targets. I mean, I'm sure Patchy has a thought on that.
Hey. Everybody's acting like T.O. out there. Just boom, boom, done. Bye. Touchdown. Plain and simple.
That's my quarterback, man. That's my quarterback.
The thing with Adams is that's his his season highlight right now. Because he hasn't done Jack Diddley in LV. So
they're 1-4. If Devontae Adams is still with Green Bay is undefeated this season.
Nah, I don't think they're undefeated. I think they have a loss. So
you think? I don't know.
So I still think they have the week 1 loss even with Devontae.
Okay.
But I think we don't lose to the Giants.
The Raiders can't even rebound because they're on the bye week this week.
Right.
So, but wait and see where that gets you. I'll do a little bit of rapid fire because we're through 4 weeks. We're really already through 5 weeks.
Yeah, we're on week 6.
No, this is week 5.
No, it's week 6.
All right.
It's week 6. Yeah, it's week 6.
I know. Mike, I mentioned at the beginning of the show. It's amazing how we're already at week 6.
I know. I just had a Mark Senior moment there.
Oh
no! Are we trademarking this?
That was good. I'll give Mike the credit for that.
God, I felt that one.
Oh, that was a good.
That was a live burn on YouTube.
Oh yes. That was one.
Oh
that
my
was
God.
One of the Pump Masters' best. Yeah.
Oh man, Patch. You know what? We'll talk off air. Maybe I could just start YouTube roasts of the network people.
Oh, that's something we need to do. Getting back to football very fast. That is something we need to plan to do. Okay, back to football.
All right, we could talk about that later.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right.
And
on
real
to
quick,
some rapid
hang on.
fire.
Hang on,
Through
real
5
quick.
games. Oh, Dan's
Hold
here.
on.
What's up,
Dan's
Dan?
here.
It is always a great Sunday when the vice president of the network, Danny Boy Reginald, shows up, getting ready for his Jets to play, and then cry afterwards.
Yeah, they're gonna lose. So that's the bottom line. No, I expect the Jets to have a more competitive game because I don't trust the Packers. But the Packers, with experience alone in Aaron Rodgers, I think they'll make the bigger plays and get the job done today. So, bottom line is, I don't expect the Jets to win, but the Jets are going to win.
All right.
But do the Guardians win, Dan?
What happened?
Do the Guardians win tonight?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The Yankees
All
won
right.
the series at home when in game 2. That series was done.
Baseball talk. Love it.
Yeah.
All right. So through 5 weeks, we're simply biggest surprise, biggest disappointment could be player or team so far.
I mean, I think this is hard not to go this way, but the biggest disappointment has got to be Russell Wilson in Denver.
Yes, definitely.
How is this team not undefeated? How are they not lighting up? I mean, you have got Russell Wilson, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. I know you just lost Javonte Williams, but you got Melvin Gordon. You got decent tight ends. You got good defense. How are you not destroying people? And it's one reason, I think. It's Nathaniel Hackett is probably the worst coach in NFL history. He's getting close to that point. His time management is beyond bad. And that I'll never forget that week against was it Seattle where he
Week 1.
Yeah, 4th and 3, and you kick a 64-yard field goal. I'm sorry, you just paid Russell Wilson how much money, and you're not letting him take the ball there? What's going on here? Yeah, easy for me. Denver is the biggest disappointment because it's just how are you not killing people? Biggest surprise? Ooh.
To me, the biggest surprise is the Cowboys going resilient without Dak Prescott. Everyone just gathering around Cooper Rush. Think about it. Cowboys have, Dak goes down. Everyone thinks, oh, Cowboy season up in shambles right now. Cooper Rush is proving them all wrong and showing that, hey, I can put this team on my back and we can get the wins here until Dak is ready to come back.
Biggest surprise for me, I'll go different than the Cowboys is, Dan, it's your Jets. They look like a completely different team this year. And I said this at the beginning of the year. I really liked a lot of the moves that they had. They had a great draft and they had a really great offseason. I just don't think anyone expected them to be this good. I mean, they're not maybe killing people or anything like that, but they just look like a completely different team than the last couple of years.
Yeah, and on top of that, I have not trusted this coaching staff at all with these last couple years, but so far they're responding well, and that's huge. That's a big part of a team that you always want is you want them to respond to the coaching staff, and they've done so despite the stupid decisions that they make on the play calling and stuff. So it's looking good. It's looking very, very, very good.
As for my most excited, it's the San Francisco 49ers. They are playing some great football. If you look at their schedule, the 2 losses, it's kind of very embarrassing. They lost to Chicago in the monsoon game in game 1, but then they lost to the Denver Broncos 11-10. I mean, this is a team that I expect to win the NFC West and go decently far in the playoffs now that Jimmy G is at the helm.
For me, the biggest disappointment. No, I'm going your direction because you brought up Denver. I'll stay in the same division. I'm going to go the Raiders.
Mm,
You spent the money on Devontae Adams. You spent the money on Chandler Jones, and they're 1-4. And they blew a 20-point lead to the Cardinals, and they legitimately blew the game Monday night.
yeah.
Why are you going for 2 Josh McDaniels? Why won't you guard Travis Kelce, Josh McDaniels? Why won't you do smart things, Josh McDaniels? I don't get it. That's the disappointment. The surprise, the Vikings at 4-1 at the top of the NFC North. My cousin Kirk is playing great football. Maybe Dalvin Cook gets going. Justin Jefferson right now is probably the best receiver in football. And the Viking defense does what they got to do. I like the Vikings a lot going forward. I really do. But,
Jefferson's making the best case for best receiver in the NFL, and I think his only real competition as of this moment is probably
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, probably that's it.
Chase has had a little bit of a down start.
Debo's
Devontae Adams. I don't even know if the Raiders know how to use Devontae Adams
when he's not shoving people over.
That dude, that guy just got in his face for no reason.
So the biggest disappointment is the Jacksonville Jaguars to me. You know, we get rid of the old bump and grind coach to bring in a new clean coach, and they dropped the opener to the Commanders, but then they dropped the last 2 games to Houston and Philadelphia, but go out and win against the Chargers in Indianapolis. This is a team that easily should be 5-0 or at least 4-1.
Oh, well, it's just good to see
wait
Trevor
for
Lawrence
them to beat the Colts today.
It's just good to see Trevor Lawrence actually have a coach, and that's not a buffoon.
But by the way, who at Fox thought it was a good idea to bring Urban Meyer back? That's what I would like to know. I don't want to see him on my TV talking Michigan, Penn State. Oh, brutal stuff. All right.
I'll say this. I'm very disappointed in the Commanders because they're in this so-called big-ass rebuild that they've been doing for the last 3 years under Ron Rivera, and they have not gotten there quite yet, which is kind of shocking, given the moves they made in the offseason, getting Carson Wentz, signing McLaurin to that big contract. Like, you want your team to do well. I understand they don't have Chase Young on defense, but both sides of the ball have to be better. And the coaching, the time management, the coaching calls got to be better too. So I put that one definitely on Ron Rivera and his staff. I'm very surprised with the Eagles. I did not expect 5-0. I expected them to be much better. I think they have a better coach. Jalen Hurts is growing into be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I did not expect 5-0. I did not expect that at all.
No, and I agree with you there, Dan. Jalen Hurts has stepped up big time and is taking control of that team.
Mike can attest to this. I said it from day one of the season. Dark horse MVP candidate Jalen Hurts.
It's a possibility if he keeps playing.
Agree this was also a make or break year for him.
Yeah.
If he's not good, they have to go out and get their next quarterback. But through 5 games, he's played well enough. And they're doing their thing. And they'll play Sunday night. See what they do against the Cowboys. Now, we have done our thing. This has been the Sunday Sideline Report on the Sports Insanity Network. Check out the website, www.thesportsinsanitynetwork.com, for blogs, for vlogs, for planes, trains, and automobiles. Enjoy the football, everyone. And for Noah Tremblay, Lawrence Lang, Mark Halpern, and Danny Boy, Reginald Dan Ryan, I'm Mike Griffin. Thank you for listening to the Sunday Sideline Report. Enjoy the football and namaste.
Namaste. Say good morning to your mama because your mama loves you. Also say good morning to your papa because your papa